Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a really chilling cold case, the disappearance of Cindy Anderson. She vanished, like, right from her office desk in Toledo, Ohio, back in 1981, broad daylight. And, well, she was never seen again.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And our mission here really is to try and understand why this case still feels so baffling. What makes this such an enduring mystery after all this time?
Okay, right. So let's set the scene. Cindy Anderson, she's just 20, a secretary at a law firm, by all accounts, really kind, religious, very responsible.
Quiet, people said. Intelligent, always punctual.
Exactly. She was even planning to go to Bible college. No known enemies, didn't run with a wild crowd or anything like that. Just a pretty straightforward life,
A simple life, yeah. Until that summer of 81. Things took a really dark turn.
So the day itself, August 4th, 1981, Cindy gets to work early like she always did. She was the first one in the office.
Right. Routine.
Totally. But then her coworkers show up maybe around 10 a.m. and she's gone.
Gone. Just like that.
Just like that. And here's the really strange part. Her purse, still there. Her keys, there. Her car, still parked outside. Even her paycheck was sitting there, uncashed.
Wow. Okay, so everything indicating she planned to be there.
Right. And the office door was locked from the outside, lights on, air conditioning running, but no Cindy.
And no sign of anything violent?
Nothing. That's what's so bizarre. No signs of a struggle, no blood, no forced entry. Just silence. An empty room where someone should have been. It's really baffling, isn't it?
It is. That complete lack of physical evidence, especially with a locked door, it just screams something unusual happened.
Yeah.
Either someone she knew was involved, let them in maybe, or it was just an incredibly meticulous abduction.
And it makes the lack of evidence itself the most eerie clue.
I like that, because Cindy's life was so normal,
Yeah.
Sometimes you look for clues in a hidden life, secrets. But here, her predictability, it almost worked against the investigation. No obvious leads.
And it gets weirder because there were things happening beforehand, warning signs maybe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Tell us about those.
Well, in the weeks leading up to it, Cindy had apparently been getting these creepy phone calls, silent calls, heavy breathing sometimes.
Unsettling.
Yeah. And she told friends she felt like she was being watched, or maybe followed. She even started keeping the office door locked constantly, which wasn't like her.
So she felt unsafe, clearly.
Seems like it. And get this. The day before she disappeared, she asked her boss about getting an emergency buzzer installed at her desk.
Wow. The day before. That's chilling.
It really is. Plus, there was a witness nearby who thought they saw a suspicious guy hanging around the building that morning. And some reports, though unconfirmed, of a man in a van in the area. Police couldn't definitively link either, though.
Right. So you put all these pieces together. The calls, feeling watched, locking the door, asking for a buzzer. It really paints a picture of, like, an escalating threat, doesn't it?
It does, which makes you wonder, with all these signs, how does someone still just vanish without a single trace? Especially from a locked office.
That is the absolute core of the mystery. And it's why so many different theories popped up over the years. People were just grasping for answers.
Okay, yeah, let's touch on those. One idea was maybe a secret relationship, something that went bad.
Right, the thought being maybe she knew her abductor, maybe they lured her out somehow. It could explain the lack of forced entry.
But police looked into it, right?
They did. And the sources are clear. They found absolutely zero evidence of any secret boyfriend or hidden relationship. Nothing concrete at all. So that theory kind of hit a dead end.
Okay. What else? There was talk of a serial killer connection, wasn't there?
Yes, Nathaniel Cook. He was active around Toledo in the early 80s, later convicted for other terrible crimes. So naturally, police looked hard at him.
Did it fit?
Well, his methods sometimes involved leaving very little evidence, which sort of matched the scene at Cindy's office. But again, despite a lot of investigation, no definitive link was ever made. Just another possibility that couldn't be confirmed.
So another dead end. What about closer to home, like the workplace?
That was definitely considered. A coworker, maybe a client, someone she trusted, someone who wouldn't need to force their way in. That would explain the locked door, the lack of struggle.
Makes sense on the surface.
It does. But again, everyone connected to the firm was interviewed, looked into, and nobody emerged as a solid suspect. It just added another layer of frustration, really.
And I guess the last possibility, though maybe unlikely, was that she left on her own, staged it.
A few people wondered that, yeah. But her family was adamant. Absolutely not. Why leave her purse, her keys, her car, her paycheck? It just didn't fit the Cindy they knew or the facts at the scene.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to add up at all.
No.
So here we are, over 40 years later. Cindy Anderson's case. It's still cold.
Ice cold. Nobody recovered, no credible suspects identified, just questions.
And sadly, her parents passed away never knowing what happened to their daughter. It's truly heartbreaking. And it leaves us, and you, with this really profound question to think about. In a world that feels increasingly watched, with more technology, more surveillance, how is it still possible for someone to just vanish so completely, leaving behind nothing but an open book and unanswered questions?
It's a disturbing thought. If you listening have any information at all about the Cindy Anderson case, please do contact Toledo Crime Stoppers.